one, if you don't know already, I was the Huffington Post contributor who had my column revoked, had my publishing rights revoked, had my articles deleted for just doing some very cursory reporting on Hillary Clinton's health condition. And since I lost my column at Huffington Post for no reason, I'm going to make people aware of everything that I am aware of, because if I still had publishing rights there, I would be writing this stuff in my column. I just finished up last night reading through the Wikileaks email batch, the Clinton email archive from Clinton's private email server that was hacked, and from the various Freedom of Information Act requests. All this stuff is right on wikileaks.org. Anybody can visit the Clinton email archive. So I'm going to show you some of the most disturbing emails I came across. We're just going to flash them on the screen for you. Please share this video. Please back this video up. YouTube has been doing some very strange things over the past few weeks to people who talk about Hillary Clinton in a negative light, not only to me, but to other big YouTubers and people who talk negatively about social justice issues and people who bring up things about the military-industrial complex. They're seeing some very unusual things, and we're seeing that search results for Hillary Clinton's health appear to be getting censored or being altered somehow by Google's algorithm. We're also seeing, let me just bring this up. So that's 3 articles that come up on Google News for Hillary Clinton's health. 2 of those articles have been deleted and scrubbed from the internet. Can you guess which 2 have been deleted and scrubbed from the internet without cause or without notice? That's right, the 2 articles that were mine, they deleted on Sunday night. It's now Thursday, not so much as a word of explanation. I've been asking Arianna Huffington, the founder of that publication, for any kind of feedback on this. She will not reply, not even publicly on Twitter. She is silent. It is eerie. It is creepy. It is censorship. It is unacceptable. And I'm aware that Huffington Post is now owned by Verizon, not Arianna Huffington. But as the founder who still has her name on it, who knows the editors, who created the culture of the Huffington Post, she could certainly condemn censorship and shine a light on it, but she chooses not to do so. She is complicit in this media push to get us to vote for Hillary Clinton. And I do not respect the fact, as a researcher, that going through these emails and going to some of my sources, it does appear that we are being pushed off a cliff, that we are being forced to vote for Hillary Clinton because the public has been indoctrinated by the corporate media with the message that Donald Trump is a sexist and a racist. CNN.com even led yesterday with a homepage story covering Trump's diplomatic visit to Mexico to, have a friendly relationship with their new president before he potentially becomes elected here in the U.S. as president, before Donald Trump does become elected. And instead of encouraging that kind of adult and mature diplomatic tone, which a number of Latinos on Twitter were praising and were frankly impressed by, instead of doing that, they claimed that this was a racial move. It's such propaganda. It actually disgusts me as somebody who's been on CNN before, somebody who's been on Fox News, somebody who's been on the Young Turks a couple of times. It is actual propaganda. It actually disgusts me. So let's go through some of these emails. And again, don't let Google and YouTube censor this or delete it. Back it up yourself. Make a copy on KeepVid. Share it to your friends. Post it on Vimeo. I'm not doing this to make money. I don't care if you violate my copyright. This is information in the public interest, and it needs to go out. So let's get started. And please watch this video all the way to the end, because at the end, I'll show some actual clips of what Hillary Clinton looks like today, right now. Not photos from 7 or 8 years ago, not press photos from 8 years ago that the media continues to run as if that's what she looks like today, but actual images and video of what Hillary Clinton does look like today. And then viewers can decide if she is medically fit for office, if she is medically fit to lead the country. So an email back in 2011 from one of her staffers, she had her staffer look into Provigil, which is a prescription medication which is prescribed to people who are off-label looking for a cognitive enhancer. It is used for that purpose. And its official purposes, it's used for people who are suffering from Alzheimer's and Parkinson's to reduce some of their symptoms. Provigil. And for any researchers out there, just search for Provigil in the Hillary Clinton email archive. at wikileaks.org, and you can read through the full email. So let's go to another one. Jamie Rubin, who is the husband of CNN international anchor Christiane Amanpour, who allegedly has a painting either in her house or somewhere where she's been photographed, a painting of the towers burning behind her. In other words, the towers, that's the painting, is the Twin Towers burning, and she's in front of it. And weird stuff, but I don't want to go down that road. Other people can research that rather trivial aspect of Christiane Amanpour. I think this email itself is certainly incriminating enough. Let's just read the email. So again, this is an invite from Jamie Rubin to Hillary Clinton while she is Secretary of State, okay? So here's the email. It's a very New York crowd and very Diane-style event. Oh, this is actually another invite. This one's even better. Sorry for jumping the gun here. So this was an invite she received to attend a party hosted by Barry Diller, the head of Interactive Corp., which owns a number of media outlets and a number of the most trafficked websites on the internet. So this is a private event to hang out with Barry Diller and with Diane von Furstenberg. So here's the invite. It's a very New York crowd and very Diane-style event, i.e. unconventional. Each awardee receives $50K for her ongoing work. The event bears no resemblance to a typical foreign policy event. That's for sure. But if you were in NY, you could arrive for the awards and leave. But that's not the invite I wanted to show you guys. Let's get to the other one. So many emails, so many. Bunch of emails about sleeping and how sleep is important, how vitamins are important. A staffer even sends her an email. It's a forward of an article, "Do you suffer from decision fatigue?" And then she puts in parentheses, "worth a read." I would not send that to my boss. At least somebody at the State Department has some spine, right? Implying that she's suffering from decision fatigue. Of course, there's a bizarre email some people are pointing out. One of her staffers mentions that she'll be sacrificing an animal to the demon god Moloch. A lot of the people who are obsessed with Illuminati and elitist cults and stuff, they always go back to Moloch as being one of the big baddies. So that's not really not a big deal, but to me is a little weird that you have staffers joking about making sacrifices to a demonic god while they're on taxpayer time, while they're working for the United States State Department under Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. So that's the kind of culture that she encouraged. So this is the big invite, the big email that I really wanted to do this video for. Let's make sure that I can bring it up on screen. There we go. Hope your travels have been less brutal than they look. I know it has been a while since we spoke of this, but I still think it would be good for you to have an informal setting to talk to some influential New York City writers and opinionators. Just going to stop reading there for a second. One of my readers on Twitter pointed out, writers and opinionators, aren't these people journalists? And that's an excellent point. We'll get to that. So let me go back to reading the email. So I would propose to host a smallish dinner when your calendar permits in the coming weeks with the following people who I know well enough to trust some level of discretion for an off-the-record dinner that would allow you to provide an account of some of the highs and even some lows of policymaking on Libya, China, Iran, the Arab Spring, and the Israel-Palestinian issue. They are Eleanor Randolph and Carol Giacomo from the New York Times editorial board, Richard Cohen of Washington Post, David Remnick and Rick Hertzberg from the New Yorker, Leon Wieseltier and Frank Foer from the New Republic, Tina Brown from Newsweek, my wife from CNN and ABC. Again, that's Christiane Amanpour. His wife is the anchor at CNN International. And maybe one or two others like Tom Brokaw. The point is not to create news stories, but to ensure when these people deliver their inevitable assessments of your term as secretary, they have an appreciation of some of the difficulties and complexities. All best, Jamie. I mean, this is a totally unacceptable level of collusion between some of the biggest people in print and broadcast media and Hillary Clinton while she's serving as Secretary of State. And it appears from the email itself that the purpose of this meeting is to massage the impression of her job while she's Secretary of State, and to make sure that they have an appreciation of her record. And then, of course, there's the creepy influence from George Soros, who is one of the funders of Think Progress, which up until yesterday was still publishing stuff, making it seem like Hillary's health, like questions about Hillary's health, are absolute conspiracy theory, are just hateful, unpatriotic, far right-wing conspiracy theory. But let's go ahead and roll some of the videos of Hillary Clinton over this summer. Does this look like a healthy woman to you?
That President Obama was going to endorse you.
It was great. It was great. I mean, it was a wonderful, meaningful endorsement in every way, and I was very proud of it.
Did you talk about vice presidential possibilities with Senator Warren?
In every way.
And how did you talk about Senator Warren? Did you talk about vice presidential possibilities with Senator Warren? Did you talk about vice presidential possibilities with Senator Warren? Senator Warren.
And now it's a horror show. It's an absolute horror show. It's an absolute horror show. It's an absolute horror show.
Wow. I mean, this is what I got my column canceled for, was this crazy conspiracy theory that Hillary Clinton's health is not well. Let the footage speak for itself. And please feel free to share this, as I said earlier. Back it up, share it. I'm angry, and I want the word to get out. This is not journalism. This is not in line with our freedoms, with our First Amendment, freedom of the press, freedom of speech. This is collusion between the corporate media and one candidate in order to win an election, in order to steal an election. It is, in my view, not acceptable.